Guys, we have a big breaking news coming out. California Governor Gavin sues the US Commander Administration for illegally withholding SNAP food benefits. Defends 5.5 million Californians who depend on this assistance. Wow. Okay, so Gavin is suing the U.S. Command Administration. At the same time, Chuck and the Blue block bill to reopen Gov for 13th time. That's mind-blowing. So Chuck shut the Gov and Donald is being sued. It's a twisted world we're living. The Blue is out for a biblical war. That's what it is. At the same time, New York and 25 other states to sue the USDA to keep SNAP benefits rolling during Gov shutdown. So you have Chuck, he shut it down today. Gavin is suing the U.S. Command Administration, and 26 states, I believe, is suing USDA. Unbelievable. Alright, so we're going to see what's going on here, guys. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. I want to bring this one up really quick, and then we're going to go with the Gavin Newsom news. National Air Traffic Controller Association President Mr. Nick Daniels said, "The message is simple. End the shutdown today." Sorry, Nick. Chuck shut down the Gov again. Alright, so there is no excuse that these hardworking men and women are showing up to do this job and to not ever know when they're going to get paid again. Well, Chuck has shut it down. Yes, Chuck. Chucky. Alright, so let's see what's going on here, guys. So this is an update. We did talk about the 20 states. So, excuse me, give me a second here. What you need to know, California and over 20 other states are filing a lawsuit today against the U.S. Commander-in-Chief administration for putting millions, oh my goodness, of sleeping giant citizens at risk of famine and refusing to fund food assistance benefits, despite the USDA having funds to continue supporting the program in November. Unbelievable. Well, let's see who's going to win this case. Today, Mr. Gavin and Attorney General Rob announced that California, along with over 20 other states, is suing the U.S. Command Administration over the unlawful refusal to fund SNAP benefits due to the nearly month-long federal Gov shutdown, despite possessing funds to support the SNAP in November. Well, if Gav would have given the votes today, it would have been open. But he shut it down for the 13th time. Under the U.S. Commander, the U.S. Department of Agriculture is needlessly suspending November SNAP benefits, causing 5.5 million Californians to lose critical access to $1.1 billion in food assistance. While the U.S. Commander-in-Chief parades around the world trying to repair the economic damage he's done. Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is Gavin. He's saying this. Gavin, I see you on X. Dude, what is wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you, Gavin? Okay, so this is what Gavin said. While the U.S. Commander-in-Chief parades around the world trying to repair the economic damage he's done with his incompetence, he's denying food to millions. He's not denying. You guys are. Chuck shut it down. So get that right. Food to millions of sleeping giant citizens who would go hungry next month. It's cruel and speak to his basic lack of humanity. He doesn't care about the people of the sleeping giant, only himself. Gavin. Come on, Gavin. What in the world are you talking about? See, you don't call out Chuck. You people are scared of Chuck and Joe. You guys are really scared of them. But again, guys, the reason why Donald is out there, he's a commander in chief. He needs to go out there to meet world leaders. He's doing business with them. That's what all commanders do. Even Joe did it. Barack did it. Everyone, again, those in the spotlight. All right. But when he leaves, we have the Senate, we have the House, we have everybody here, and they don't know what they're doing. Again, you got Gavin pointing fingers at Donald. Meanwhile, Chuck shut the gov for the 13th time. Very sad. He's the first partner, Jennifer Newsom. She's coming out and said, when families don't know where their next meal will come from, our gov has failed its most basic duty to care for its people. The U.S. Commander-in-Chief Administration decision to withhold the food assistance that's already been funded has left millions of Sleeping Giant citizens in fear and uncertainty. As a state, we know we must stand up and fight back. We are taking action for our families, for our young ones, and for the 5.5 million Californians who deserve the simple dignity of knowing there will be food on the table. So where were you guys when Californians were sleeping in tents for decades with no food? I'm just saying. You know, Californians, the sidewalk was filled with tents. You know how many of those people didn't see a plate, a nice warm meal? Where was Gavin? Huh? And all these other people. Unbelievable. You guys know what I'm talking about, those tents. There's still a lot of tents out there in those sidewalks. Now it says here, let's be clear about what's happening. For the first time ever, the benefits will not be available to the millions of low-income individuals who depend on them to put food on the table, said Attorney General Rob. November benefits can and must be provided even with the gov situation. USDA not only has authority to use contingency funds, it has a legal duty to spend all available dollars to fund the SNAP benefits. The U.S. Commander-in-Chief Administration, however, has chosen instead to play politics with this essential safety net that so many depend on. And so what Chuck is doing, again, shutting it down, what do you call that then? It says here, including 5.5 million individuals in California alone. With the holidays around the corner, we are seeing cost of groceries continue to increase and food banks facing unprecedented demand. We are taking a stance because families will experience famine and malnutrition if the U.S. commander gets its way. But why? Again, Chuck shut it down. He just shut it down like 2-3 hours ago for the 13th time. Why are you guys going after Donald? Go after Chuck. The U.S. commander choosing to delay the benefits. Once again, the federal GOV is legally required to make payments to SNAP. Congress appropriated $6 billion to the USDA and SNAP related contingency funds through September 2026 to continue funding benefits in instances like the current gov shutdown. Now, instead of helping, the U.S. Commander-in-Chief Administration chose to suspend November SNAP benefits despite contingency funding in place to help feed the sleeping giant. That fund supposed to be for catastrophic events. We could get hit with a hurricane. Again, California could get hit with a wildfire. Texas could get hit with flooding. What about Jamaica? All right, so if we give the money to the 42 million, what happened if we need the money for catastrophic? Again, we're going to end up being like North Carolina. No help. Ladies and gentlemen, we have backup money for things when it hits the fan, and we need that money. Now, the blue is crying, oh, you guys got the money, and that money does not go to the 42 million. It goes to the millions that goes through catastrophic world events, not human error. So instead of asking for the backup money, maybe you guys should call Chuck and tell Chuck to stop shutting the gov down. The USDA is selectively choosing what programs to keep open during this event, as it has provided billions in aid for farmers and been able to temporarily fund the WIC benefits. The U.S. Commander-in-Chief is simply choosing not to use this authority to fund the benefits for millions of sleeping giant citizens, including veterans and vulnerable populations, such as young ones and seniors. Once again, California assistance to food insecure families. While food benefits are delayed for 5.5 million residents, California is stepping up to protect families from famine by fast-tracking 80 million in state funds to stabilize food bank food distribution and offset delays in federal CalFresh benefits. It's about time. It's about time Cali step up and do something. But 80 million is not enough. Again, I mean, there's millions of Californians out there that truly need, again, food, and those workers out there at the airport. But again, just talk to Chuck. He shut it down. He's the one that should be questioned. Governor Newsom has also mobilized the California National Guard and California volunteers on a humanitarian mission to support food banks and Californians by planning, packing, distributing, and delivering meals to families in need throughout the state, similarly to his action during the C19 event. Alright, so we are definitely seeing something here, guys. Alright, so this is the latest updates. Gavin Newsom is now stepping in and he's suing the Donald administration. While Chuck closed the doors for the 13th time. For the 13th time. Oh, great. So the man's speaking. Give me a second here, guys. Gavin. All right, Gavin, let's see what's going on here. California and 20 other states are suing. Okay, we already know that. This is cruelty. Yeah, tell that to your buddy Chuck. So this is cruelty. The federal gov is abandoning. Nobody is abandoning no one. It's just Chuck closed the doors again for the 13th time. Gavin, look. Here's a picture of Chuck. Once again, your party, your buddies, the blue, block bill to reopen Gov for the 13th time. They don't see that. For some reason, again, I just feel like these people were given to reprobate minds or debased minds. It's just, they don't see the truth. They don't know the truth. They just been given up to foolishness. They're acting like fools. Breaking news. Breaking news. So JD Vance says the White House found a way to pay the troops during Chuck Gov down. Great news. It says here. It says, I dare the blue to sue the Donald over this. If the blue just opened up the Gov, yep, then we wouldn't have to play this game of putting a square peg in a round table. I agree. But again, Chuck, once again, Chucky. shut it down. And so, what's gonna happen now? Well, yeah, thank you, Chuck. It says here Tuesday. Well, air traffic controllers missed their first payday. Uh-oh. Friday? Well, here we go. The military is set to miss its full payday, but the vice president and the White House has an idea to pay the troops. All right, Saturday, a looming cliff of federal nutrition benefits. This is the big one here. So these two is the big one. Big shout out to Chuck. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end it here. Leave comments down below. And a lot of people, saying that I always blame the blue. Well, it's common sense. The blue shut it down. I mean, I don't know who else I should blame. The air, or I mean, Chuck shut it down. It's common sense. It's But we are praying for millions. Hopefully, there's some kind of miracle. But there's still a couple of days left. But hopefully before midnight on October 31st. Hopefully we get some good news. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Till next time later. Peace.